another episode of On Point Podcast and More, where sharing is unlimited. I'm your host, Helen Baskerville Dukes, and my guest today is Blaq Sav, June Alexander Moore, father, comedian, and founder of Blaq Sav Incorporated. What's up?
What's up? You gave him all my government. You usually need my social security now because
Yes.
you just gave y'all all my information right now.
777-9311. He's like, is that the phone number?
You messing around with your own credit, you messing around with that number. Don't do it. Don't
No,
do
we're
it.
not going to do that. Thank you for stopping by, Blaq Sav. So tell my followers a little bit about yourself, family, school, whatever you feel like telling.
I'm a stand-up comedian. I'm an artist. I'm a creator. I'm just a all-around guy, I guess. I don't know what else to say. You know, I'm a human.
Are you trying to be shy? Like,
No,
stop.
but that's who I am. You told them everything. You gave them my name, my social, my ID. So, you know, I don't really got nothing to say. That's who I am.
Okay, well, fine. Well, now that they know that, you know, you're a human, we can move on. How about that? So
sure.
this, all right, you being a comedian, how did you get started with comedy? Because I know you from one of the plays I produced. You were in it. You know, you did an outstanding job.
A little actor, you know.
Yeah,
My resume's all right.
It's tight, but I never knew about the comedy side. So, you know, how'd you get started?
You know, we was just out one day and then somebody signed me up for one of them open mics.
Mm-hmm.
But we always been, you know, messing around with each other since I was in school. My brother been messing with me. Everybody been, you know, it's just black people in comedy are like, you know, music and, you know, dancing. You know what I mean? We go together. So it wasn't a big far-fetched, especially with people who know me. You know, like they always been around me. I'm always joking around. But, you know, at some point you got to get out the lunch table and make some money cracking them jokes. You know what I mean? So, and it worked. So, yeah, and that's why we kept doing it.
Off the rip?
I mean, no, not off rip. It didn't work. You know, I didn't understand what I was doing. I was just messing around, and I was doing good on stage, but I wasn't. The business side wasn't that great. You know, I was just doing any bowling alley, chicken joint I could possibly find. But that was like, you know, my first beginning years. As I started to grow, I understood there's ways you can make money and putting your own shows together if you understand the business, if you understand other comics, if you understand the demographic of where you're doing a show at. And, you know, now I'm doing pretty good. 5 years later, 4 years later, I'm all right, you know.
Well, I was shocked when I first heard. I'm just going to be honest with you. And I'm like, well, you know, I know of some comedians in town. And, you know, I think, you know, like you said, the black community, there's comics in every single family. So it's hard to come by somebody who's, like, legitimately, like, super funny just because we're accustomed to that. Yeah. So, you know, I
think that's where it lies, though, like just being genuinely. What's funny to your family is still funny to my family. Mm-hmm. So if I can stand on stage and say it, it's funny to everybody's family too. Right. And people who are not black who find things that we go through funny because they go through similar stuff. They might not, you know, a little less seasoned, but, you know, they go through it though.
Right. But what I'm saying, I agree. I just said, okay, well, you know what? He's funny. Okay, this is what I was hearing a lot. So I was like, June? Okay, well, we'll see.
It's funny because a lot of people didn't believe it. They was like, why are you doing stage? I don't know why, but
I'm one of them.
It ain't that hard. It ain't that hard, believe it or not. It's just a lot of writing, that's all.
I guess I didn't know you. So, you know, I could see if I was around you and you were cracking jokes and stuff. I'm like, oh, I could see that transition, yeah. But just to know you, you know, you're up here acting and, you know.
And I got a lot of personas, too. Like, some people know me as an artist, and all I do is draw, and I'm very quiet when I'm in that zone. So, they know who that person is. That person stands on stage and tells jokes in front of audience. Like, it's not, like, but they don't know that there's a jewelry designer in there. There's a whole bunch.
Why are you jumping questions?
I'm just telling you, like, you know, I'm multidimensional. You told them the questions.
But I want to get to that. Like, you skip it.
I'm
like,
sorry.
back it up.
I'm sorry that I'm a psychic. That's one of my personas. You know, I mean, another one.
Well, we ain't gonna mention that one. But anyway,
I'm not
speaking of artists. Speaking of artists, I have one of your paintings from back in the day when you were working with my sister.
Seriously?
Yeah, she brought it. You're right.
Oh my God, that's
I'll
crazy.
take a picture and send it over to you.
I gotta check that out.
My husband was like, "Oh, keep this. This might be worth something one day," and so we kept it. But anyway, so who or what comedian inspired you? Like, I don't want to say what comedian, but like who?
I got a lot of inspiration when it comes to, like, I guess, how I do comedy, because there's always someone that's up there that's doing it. You know what I mean? Something that, like, you can just admire something about them. But I think right now I'm loving like a lot of the focus comedy, like the Dave Chappelle stuff. You know, I wasn't always a Dave Chappelle fan, but more recently I've been just dabbling into his stuff, and I like it. I like the fact that he's sending the message through laughter. That's kind of dope.
He's brilliant how he does it.
I love Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor, Red Flag, all the dirty Rodney Harris. I love all of them crazy guys, but that's just a style of comedy that I'm not saying it's easy, but it's more wild. There's no control. I don't really have to worry about when I'm on stage calling somebody's weave something. Like, I just, you know what I mean? I can just go off the top. But to be doing it for a reason, to spin it back around to something and show you something, I think that's inspirational. So there's a lot of comedy that's inspirational, but my biggest ones is all the kings right now. You know, Dave, Eddie, Richard. I love Paul Mooney. Paul Mooney's like the guy right now. He's so funny.
Right.
He's real funny. And then there's the Seinfeld and those guys like that. That's a different style of comedy. People don't know, like, for comedy you have to have an urban room. You gotta have a picnic room. You gotta have a clean room. I'm doing a clean room on Sunday, so I can't really be all crazy with it. So you got to be able to switch gears. Right,
yeah. No, I know you're pretty good with pivoting because, for Juneteenth, we had our comedy show last year.
Yes.
And you had to keep it clean, and you did.
I did my best.
Right, no, you were awesome. It's the other ones that didn't keep it clean. It's like, what is wrong?
I said Blaq Sav-ing. I ain't seen nothing about nobody else's ink. I don't know about nobody else's ink.
Right, exactly. I was
do my own thing.
I was like, come on, bro.
Yeah. Sometimes and that's another thing that you learn in the game is that this ain't a team sport. So when you come in and you do your thing, if somebody else is not doing their thing, it can mess up the whole game. Yeah. So you gotta really make sure you're on the right shows, because you did a great job in a terrible game. It's not gonna make no sense. Nobody's gonna pay attention to you.
Right, exactly. And also, I like the part about you're saying to be what is the word I want to say? Diverse, or being able to have a variety of material for different audiences. And I've heard you quite a few times, and hands down, you are funny. Probably one of the funniest guys I know in Rhode Island. I can honestly say that.
I make my kids laugh. So that's all that really matters, right?
I can't. You like all shy. This is not. He is out of control.
What you mean? I do make my kids laugh.
Now you listen, Archie. Look how just like low key June is.
Well, I'm saying we had a hallway closet apartment in here. I wasn't prepared for this. You know what I mean? Me and Archie's shoes barely fit in here. If we could turn around the thing, you see Archie's shoes right next to my knees, right here. But she asked me why.
No, but this is like
it's beautiful. Don't get me twisted. But this is real Mr. Rogers in here. Okay, you gotta turn down the Blaq Sav when you're in an establishment of this nature. Smell like crumpets in this mug and tea.
Anyway, we fit up in here. Is
that better for you? Am I out of my box now,
Helen? Thank you. I was like, what? Come on,
June. Look at this little table. She got this from England. This is nice. This ain't no real players. Ain't grew not 1 inch.
That is real. Stop it.
This is a rubber plant.
Stop shaking it. Stop. You're going to bust up the leaves.
I'm sorry, plant.
Is it faced right, Archie?
It's cool. Good. It's good. Don't worry. We're going to water the plastic plant later. Archie got a lot of editing to do. That's for
He's good. This is easy, right? Compared to Pilar's. I was like, erased that whole thing.
They were yelling at each other the whole time.
Nah, she was cutting up, but I was like...
Pilar, she can't sit there, her feet dangling. It took me 5 minutes to get up here. It took me 5 minutes to get up here, Helen.
We gotta give Pilar. You're gonna have to just inbox her.
If you see that one video, Pilar gonna kill me. I'm saying right now. Every time she see me, she run.
I can't.
Oh
Wait.
My goodness.
Where were we? Where did Blaq Sav come from? You're gonna need a napkin over here to dry your face off.
She got this hot light on. Blaq Sav came from. I don't know. I kind of wanted something different on stage. I didn't want to come June what they knew me as. So I eventually came up with Blaq Savage, but I didn't like Blaq Savage like all the way. So I was like, you know what? let me figure out how to manipulate that a little bit. So Blaq Sav is like I can either be savvy, stylish, or I can
I love it.
A savage, and it's like it's a choice. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people know me, for being a savage, but a lot of people know me also for being stylish and creative. So it fit me perfectly.
I did. I like that.
I was bald people sweat.
Thank you. Yeah, you gotta pat it.
That's why I need an assistant.
Who is my assistant?
I got a big forehead.
She was like, I'm not patting people's face.
Look, I don't do all that. I don't do all that.
Get your nose. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Now, in one video, I'm going to be shiny, and then right after that, I'm going to be dry as hell. It's going to be a great interview.
All right. Where are we? The Pilar thing, she's gonna get you though. That's all I have to say.
Man, listen, let her see that, because that's gonna happen. She's gonna chase me with her little legs, and I'm gonna get in trouble.
I can't even stick up for her, Pilar. I'm sorry.
She's so nice and mean at the same time. I don't know how she do that.
She's like nicey,
like a beautiful volcano. Nicey.
She's gonna get you.
Nicey, I like that. I'm using that. Sound like a drink.
Michelle. You remember from LA?
Michelle.
They call me Michelle, right?
She made that up?
Yeah, just say I'm nicey. It's a song.
I remember that back in. Listen, that's how old we are.
That's all right. We can
only
be
40 and up gonna remember that joke. Young kids gonna be like, we don't even know who Michelle is.
But we like nicey.
I like nicey.
All right. Well, listen. As a hot comedian, I see you're in demand. How does it feel to be popular, especially locally? Because a lot of people don't get that love on the ground where they're from, from their own community.
I mean, I do a lot of outside work besides on stage. I work with the actual people who do work. You know what I mean? Like me and you know each other besides me doing acting. You know what I mean? Me and Archie know each other because Archie hired me, and that's big bro. I asked him to help me with these kids in these streets. So that alone is making me a real human. You know what I mean? So I have a different demographic. A lot of these comedians, they have a one-dimension kind of way of thinking. It's like all about comedy. It's all about comedy. And me being able to do some other things and, being in my community gives me a different focus and gives me a way to build relationships. I build relationships with kids who are in junior high school, elementary school. So those relationships grow. I make a relationship with their parents. That relationship grows. And then, that's where the support really comes from, actually being in the community. Like, I can't think more than, and it's like being thankful is all I can be, you know what I mean? Because a lot of comedians struggle to get booked, and I'm turning down a show a week. So
so you have that organic popularity, which is great.
Yeah.
I like that fact, especially seeing someone that I know, and you're just doing so well in this field. So I'm gonna wish you continued blessings.
Praying we get there.
Yeah. You'll get there. I believe you'll get there. So tell me, or tell the audience, how did you become a jewelry designer? That came as a shock to me too. I'm going to these little black markets and stuff, and then I see you there. I'm like, hey, June, and I'm like, oh, shoot, you create jewelry as well. This is just, just full of gifts.
I mean, I think jewelry is a creative thing. I didn't really create jewelry on purpose. Believe it or not, my mom used to work in a jewelry store when I was a kid. Like when we first moved to Rhode Island, I remember her working in Onlyville. But it was Almax. And behind it, it was like it's a long time ago. And it was there was a factory back there. She used to do the assembly. I used to take the little pieces, and I used to just be fascinated with all this little stuff that she used to have. And I used to go there after school because I had to go wait for her to get off work, whatever. Be sitting under her desk doing this little stuff, and it resonated, I guess, doing all these years. But I gotta remember, like, being creative is being creative. I don't, if I was a gardener, I'd probably have a crazy creative garden. Anything that I do is gonna be creativity. It has nothing to do with, the focus. Because I have a lot of different focuses, but they're all just being creative. When I'm on stage, I'm just being creative. I stand up there and I look around and I figure out who to pick at, who's gonna laugh, who's having a good time. When I'm making jewelry, I'm looking at the colors. I'm looking at what colors are resonant right now. Is it summertime? Is it wintertime? So it's just about being creative. So I think me being creative made me, start jewelry. I think when you're a creative, you chase things and you bump into things. And I bumped into the beads.
So how do people find your jewelry? be able to view it, be able to purchase it. I think that's necessary.
In the beginning, I was more like a commercial trying to do a commercial, like get it out there, have my own company. But now I'm more like a personalized type of thing. I make more seed beaded style pieces that take weeks to make. So you need patience. They're not cheap. You know, some of them, like most of them, start off at like $200. So, um, it's not. It's a different situation. I don't really make a mass quantity of jewelry. I make more like a one of one type of pieces. But I do have a sister company that I started with my lady. It's called Impulse, and that's impulse.com. If you go check out the website, there's a bunch of different stylish stuff up there. We got Van Cleefs up there and all these different type of bracelets.
That's pretty.
So a lot of the stuff that we have up there is just stylish accessories. Some of it she has silver. You know, she can also do nameplates and things of that nature. So I'm moved into that type of jewelry in a different way, but I still do the custom stuff because that's the passion.
Right, and I think a large part of the community likes custom designs as well. So, and I don't think your pieces are too pricey. You know, what we spend on shoes, what we spend on food, what we spend on clothes. You know, prices have gone up. So, and we're willing to spend that. I think, you know, I hope at least from this podcast you get, you know, one or two customers, you know, buying your pieces. No,
I appreciate it. I mean, it's more about the love anyway. Most of the pieces I made for people that I got love for, respect for. It's like it's a status thing now. Like for me, I see you with it because I respect you. You know, if you give me a couple dollars, thank you. But you know, I'm more or less happy that you got it on your neck. That's more what it is for me.
No, absolutely. But I'm also about, you know, making sure we support Black businesses.
Definitely.
In every single way. You know, I might not use your product or your service, but I'm going to try to turn someone else on to it that can. And I think that's one of the most important things in my life right now is making sure I persuade or ask our community to make sure that we're supporting each other first. You know, if you need something and you have to pay a little extra for it, we ought to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the only way we're going to see our community get ahead, and be able to prosper and have some type of economic empowerment as well. So just tell us again, how can people access your jewelry? You said that's impulse.com.
Yeah, impulse.com. It's MPULZE. So not impulse, but impulse with a Z. And yeah, it's got a bunch of different styles on it, different stylish things, accessories, whatever. So I think that, you know, like you said, support is very important. We do, like, when you're in a certain place or when you're starting to do certain things, we gotta wear each other's stuff. We gotta talk about. We gotta celebrate each other. Like this is a local brand from here. Right. You know, this is a Black girl who makes her own jewelry. She makes her own clothes, and and anytime I'm on a camera, I'm trying to wear, you know, Medea wear or something like that. That's from my city, a Black owned wear, because this is how they see it. But where you get that shirt from, that goes a long way. So, you know.
No, I agree. So, and if someone wanted to book you, you know, to do a show, how do they get in touch with you?
I mean, I'm on every social media everywhere. Blaq Sav, BLAQSAV. I'm very responsive on there. If not, I have a website being built soon. Blaq Sav Inc. is gonna be up soon. And yeah, I'm not hiding. Blaq Sav at Gmail. I'm very accessible. You put Blaq Sav with a Q in there and Google, I'm gonna pop up. Trust me.
That's awesome. So tell us what's next. You have the jewelry. Are you still doing any paintings or anything of that nature?
I just did a painting yesterday for somebody's birthday. So I'm still doing anything creative. I'm always gonna. That's a life thing. I don't think I'm ever gonna stop painting or doing jewelry or anything creative. But what's next? I don't know. I'm trying to get out and stay a little bit more this summertime. I'm taking a little bit of a break from all the local scene. Just try to get out there, go back to Cali, maybe try Houston a little bit.
Yeah, Houston's hot.
Yeah, and I gotta take some shots. You know, I gotta actually put some money up, and so yeah, just out of state work, just trying to make everything happen. Get in Atlanta, back in Atlanta. There's a lot of things, a lot of cities, a lot of states, and then figure out where I want to be with comedy, because I've met, you know, cruise ship comedians, I've met casino comedians, and they're not all, you know, thinking everything is peachy. So you got to figure out what makes sense for you. Do you want to be a casino comedian, a residency once a year making this much? Do you want to be on a cruise ship for 6 months making that type of money? Do you want to keep touring? Do you want to be a household name? You know, there's a lot of different things you gotta do. So, like I said, I'm only 5 years in the game, and I'm a hot name right now. So let's see what happens in a few years.
Right. No, that's cool. 5 years. I think you've accomplished a lot. Some people in 5 years is turn around and just go in a different direction.
Yeah, that's true.
I've touched quite a few things, and if it's not working, okay, what's next? So I appreciate you hanging in there. And, I always think about Uber and I think about Netflix and things like that. They just thought about what's being done and how to reimagine it.
Because we didn't have those things before. Mm-hmm. Now, all that is because of what's going on. We wasn't watching TV, so they said, "What are we watching? Movies. Let's put them all on one channel."
Right.
Perfect. And that's just how simple life is. That's that simple. And that's why I say opportunity is right there waiting for you. Because what's tomorrow? Somebody could put something together with. We want all the comedians that nobody ever heard of on one channel, and now they're just searching for us.
Right.
And tomorrow, you'll no longer see me again. Now I'm on a level because of that person's idea or that situation that turned over. So you just gotta be faithful and always be diligent, working hard, because when the opportunity comes, you don't want to be asleep. You want to be ready.
Right. All right. Well, thank you, June. I appreciate you stopping through,
always
showing some love, man. And thank you for joining us for another episode of On Point Podcast and More, where sharing is unlimited. Peace.